The moment a woman sees two pink lines on a pregnancy test, she is hit with a wall of instructions. Suddenly, everyday choices feel perilous. The pressure sets in to perfectly calibrate what she eats, how she moves, and even how she sleeps, as if micromanaging her own biology is the only way to keep the baby safe. High-risk OBGYNs see these anxieties every day, yet they find that the vast majority of the prohibitions women are told to live by lack any basis in clinical evidence. The list of true medical hazards is actually quite short, yet culture has piled on hundreds of restrictive, fear-based rules that have no grounding in human physiology. These extensive lifestyle bans don't actually protect the child. They just offer an anxious parent an illusion of control over a deeply unpredictable biological process. This chart shows daily energy requirements. The baseline represents a standard diet, and that tiny bump next to it is all a pregnant woman actually needs, about 200 extra calories a day. Eating for two is a biological fiction. The same applies to the strict bans on morning coffee. While excessive caffeine in the first trimester does carry risks, once those first 12 weeks pass, moderate consumption is perfectly safe. People panic over eating oily fish and deli counter staples like hot dogs. In reality, fish like salmon provide crucial nutrients like DHES that a developing baby actively requires to grow. The true medical concern with deli foods isn't the meat itself, it's the risk of listeria, a specific bacterial infection. If the hot dog is thoroughly cooked or the cheese is pasteurized to kill the bacteria, the danger vanishes. There is, however, one dietary limit where the medical consensus dictates a zero-tolerance policy. Doctors do not know of any safe amount or safe time frame to consume alcohol during pregnancy. Managing dietary safety effectively relies on specific hygiene practices and avoiding known bacterial pathogens rather than broad, unguided restriction. Beyond the kitchen, women are told their bodies have become incredibly fragile. There is a pervasive fear that standard exercises, specific yoga poses, or even sex can somehow physically crush or strangle the fetus. This cross-section of the uterus shows why that is mechanically impossible. The baby sits within a fluid-filled sac, completely insulated inside a heavy, thick, muscular vault. Normal physical activity doesn't even come close to disturbing that environment. This inherent physical resilience means pregnant women can safely get on airplanes, too. Changes in altitude won't spontaneously break a woman's water, because commercial airplane cabins are fully pressurized. The actual physical threat during air travel is a blood clot in the leg or lung, and that is simply caused by sitting rigidly in one place for too long, a risk mitigated by hydrating and occasionally walking down the aisle. This diagram illustrates why you shouldn't sleep flat on your back. The heavy uterus presses directly down onto the inferior vena cava, restricting blood flow. But before this harms the baby, the mother feels nauseous, naturally shifting to her side, instantly releasing the pressure. Pregnancy operates through robust, self-regulating biological feedback loops that naturally signal the mother to change positions well before the baby is ever at risk. That lack of manual control also applies to the external changes and timelines of pregnancy. People confidently claim that slathering on cocoa butter will prevent stretch marks, or that the specific shape of a woman's belly reveals the baby's gender. In reality, stretch marks are purely genetic and driven by rapid, localized weight gain. No amount of expensive topical cream can biologically alter how the skin naturally expands. The desperation for control hits its peak at the very end of the third trimester, leading to myths about kickstarting late-term labor using extra spicy food or specialized yoga routines. Medical science is clear. No external meal, beverage, or physical posture can trick biology into initiating the labor process before the body is ready. Look at this timeline graph showing birth distributions. Even a doctor's official due date at the center of the curve is just an educated guess, bracketed by a massive 2-week variance window on either side. Trying to predict the gender with folklore, erase physical changes with lotions, or force a rigid timeline are simply coping mechanisms. They help expectant parents manage the deep unpredictability of what is happening inside them. A healthy pregnancy requires a basic baseline. Practice moderation, get a flu shot to protect your immune system, and wash your garden vegetables to avoid a parasite called toxoplasmosis. Once those baseline precautions are met, the biological timeline and the ultimate outcome remain under the control of the baby's development and deep physiological processes. Letting go of the micromanagement can actually bring a lot of relief. What is the most bizarre, unscientific pregnancy rule someone ever insisted you follow? Let us know in the comments below.